Yeah, last time, yeah.
Jesse Road?
Yeah.
We're ready.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the April 4th Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners meeting. We have a lot on the agenda tonight, so we'll get right into it. And the first item 2 is acceptance of the January 3rd, 2018 minutes. You have them in your packet.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay. John, you want to sign in, please? A notebook, yeah, you know. Okay. Number 3 on the agenda, Ben Osgard, Joe Abra-Samra, engineers for Ranger Engineering and Design, LLC. They're here to talk about a proposed plan to develop 20 lots on Jesse Road for water sewer requirements. Ben, Kevin?
Actually, Joe Samra.
Oh, you Joe?
I'm Joe.
Okay, you're here to represent the,
Represent the
represent the job.
Yep. I'm not sure how many of you guys actually have seen this or reviewed it. I'm pretty sure Ben Osgood
I saw it.
came down and talked to a couple different people from the department. This is the existing conditions plan. It's the stretch of Jesse Road that's all vacant right now. It's all woods between Mason Road and Alton Drive. It's a real low spot right down there. What we're proposing is 20 lots, all single family. All single family lots, a couple right off Jesse, and a road coming down with about 16 lots on it. We talked, and we're going to proposing an 8-inch water main that's connecting off of Jesse, off of Mason Road, coming all the way down back up to Jesse. And also, we debated about doing septic at each one, but we talked to the town sewer, and we're putting E1 pumps, individual pumps at each individual house, and pumping it up to Mason. There's a force main all the way up back up to a manhole in Mason.
With that pumping through the smaller pipe all the way up to Mason Road, does that create any problems if it sits there stagnant for a while with smell and stuff? We've seen these proposals before, and if there's not enough activity, it sits there and it fumigates. So on a nice July day, you're having a barbecue, you're going to smell that.
Yeah.
So what ensures that that is not an issue?
The E1 pumps are designed by the company E1. Each lot's going to have its own single pump, and it's a grinder pump, and it pumps through. I'm not sure. They're going to be buried probably 5 feet under the proposed grade. I'm not sure about the smell itself, the stagnant, because they're all constantly pumping.
Yeah, this was a few years ago. They wanted to put the pier pod, the development down there. They wanted to put these things in there and send a similar line back to the main trunk. And even we said no, you can't do it that way. And then we went to the DEP, and the DEP said, "What are you nuts? The whole place will stink like, you know what? Because there's not enough activity." So.
That's a mile and a half, though.
No, I know, and I'm not an engineer, but my question is,
only 1,000 feet.
we want to be,
Yeah.
we want to be sure that that's not an issue.
Yeah, there's not gonna be any manholes in between, there's gonna be cleanouts,
Yeah.
and Ys with
Yeah.
caps on it.
Yeah, but that'll require a manhole cover like you have on.
Right, but it's all gonna be
Access.
sealed, but it's
Yeah.
just gonna be like a
Yeah,
Y, so.
have
it-
access.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not.
The issue
I'm-
that, I'm sorry.
I'm not sure, again, I'm not an engineer, but I'm not sure how the smell permeates into the air, but the fact is that that was an issue. So I think that is an issue we have to look at, to make sure, because the last thing you want is that to go in, and then, again, it's July, 4th of July barbecues, and people are going, what, you'll have more phone calls, and,
So I'm not sure what they have, but that could arise if they had one pumping station, like if they had a big septic tank and gravity fed down. Like all these, the alternative could be all these could be gravity fed to a tank. Maybe that was where the smell was coming from. There was one pump that went all the way
yeah,
up.
Yeah, there would be a pump station if you were that far away.
Yeah.
You need a pump station. These aren't any stations
Yeah,
at all.
yeah, no, I know what they are, but I'm just bringing it up. I'm just saying you want to be cautious.
Well, on that topic, Dudley Hill Road is all either bonds or E1 pumps. That last phase the sewer department did. From all
Yeah.
the way to length of the golf course, and there are several homes
Yeah, but
up
you
on
don't
top
have-
of the hill.
You don't
that
have that,
pumps.
you don't have that Jesse Road section that's,
The grade,
you know what I mean? Those are pumping directly into the line. And there's not like a dead zone, if you will. That Jesse Road there is kind of like a dead zone. I don't know what else.
So
to
we're
call it.
actually.
How will it
pumping-
pump up Jesse too?
It's
Up
actually
and
not
down.
pumping
Up
Jesse.
and down.
It's pumping up the hill, up our proposed road, and then up Jesse Road to Mason. And then once from Mason, there's already existing
Yeah.
sewer that's just gravity fed.
Yeah.
Right,
so-
so you're not gonna have, excuse me, you're not gonna have any grade till you get to Mason Road, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It's all pumped.
It's all flat.
Yeah.
Right, I know the issue we had on Pierpoint when back when it just assumed, it was.
Right.
It was
But that was
at the
a distance,
manhole,
too.
it was at the manhole that it was pumping into was where the problem was gonna arise. with the
Right,
odor.
right, but there was a lot of distance, I understand what you're talking about, Pierpont was over a mile.
Yeah, no.
This is only 1,000 feet.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm just saying that my opinion is we should be safe and just check it out and make sure it will not be an issue, because again, you approve it, it goes in, everyone's happy, and then on July 4th, they're not happy and we get phone calls. So I'd just rather be proactive than reactive to that potential.
Can we send it to our engineer and make sure it's not an issue there?
You talked about using E1s?
Yeah.
Environment one? You would have to have that designed, right?
Yeah.
The diameter of the main and the
The
size
diameter
of
of
the
the main
pumps
and
for
the
each
size.
house?
Yeah, probably the coming out of the house is maybe smaller, but.
I know this much, the top of an E1 has a vent on it in each individual yard. Then your plumbing system that ties in, that dumps into the tank, has a vent on it going to the atmosphere. I just personally, with a manhole cover, I don't see where the odor is coming from if it's being discharged into a gravity main that's currently probably flowing at 3/4 capacity now.
Right, that we got one of our meters right at.
Yeah, I don't think flow is going to be an issue. But the DEP looks at this anyway, right? You can't just do it, the DEP.
No, DEP doesn't look at this.
They don't? I thought they would.
We went to planning already, the review engineer looked at, he didn't raise any issues with I never brought up the particular.
The other engineers didn't either.
Yeah.
They wanted to put on these houses and sell it and everything else, and I understand all that. My only concern is, again, I'd rather be proactive and knowing it's not gonna be an issue than reactive to 40 residents coming in here and giving us holy hell because it stinks.
I can also inquire with the E1 company, I'm sure that
Yeah.
issue's brought up several times.
What is your timeline? How you're still going through all the other
We're going
departments?
through, so as of right now, we're in the timeline of getting the preliminary subdivision plan approved so we can get into the real hardcore details of all the grading and stuff. Other than that, we're gonna go to a definitive subdivision plan. We haven't talked to the Conservation Commission yet, but.
Okay. Would it be possible to, I think Tom has a good point. Would it be possible to send a copy of this off to Mr. Brinkman to see if we can get his opinion on this kind of thing? He's dealt with this kind of stuff before, just to get an opinion from our side as far as just to be sure that we're not going to have an odor problem.
Well, why don't we wait until they come back for the final,
All right.
from the engineer, from the E1, and what they say and all that, what they're planning on doing,
Okay.
exactly size main, what they're looking at, and then if you want to send it to our engineer,
Yep.
then he can approve the whole setup.
Yeah, but if we have a problem with it before, I mean, if he goes and specs this out for the E1s and we have a problem, now he's gonna go back and redo it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, but he's going to have the E1 company look at it, because they do this all the time.
They can be done concurrently, though. We can
Huh?
have it.
Yeah, we can have it.
do it concurrently.
Right.
Have an engineer look at it for smell.
Just have him take a look at it. Just does he see any issues with it? And he's been pretty good about letting us know if there's an issue or not. Anything that he's seen or
Yeah, 'cause
run
you-
into in the
Just so we get the answer before you.
so we're not delaying it longer.
Yeah. Well, after this step, we're still gonna make changes. If the planning board, when the planning board hopefully approves the preliminary subdivision plan, we're gonna be sending them another change, and then their engineer is gonna check it again, so we have time to.
There's a lot of great work in there, isn't there?
Yeah, this one shows a lot of grade work. We might actually bend the road out a little bit so we don't have to cut up the hill so much.
Yeah, that goes all the way, it looks like the cul-de-sac is even with Pine View.
Yeah,
It goes behind Konechki's house.
Yeah, that's.
it's real steep back there.
Yeah, I know.
I'll make a motion, we.
I just want to bring up a couple items, just, and Laura, would you take notes on these? So, in our conversation, you're aware of a 8-inch ductile iron water main from Mason Road to Jesse Road,
We're going to be putting that in.
yes, and your new 8-inch water main going down the length of your new proposed road,
Yes.
and maybe at least 3 fire hydrants.
There will be 3 fire hydrants. One, I should explain that. One right at the beginning of our subdivision. It's going to be halfway through Jesse. One halfway down the road, and one at the end of the water main, at the very end of the cul-de-sac.
And the superintendent would tell you what type of materials to purchase and where you want gate valves, etc. On that, you're aware there are fees involved.
Yes.
There's a fee for an 8-inch water main. Then there would be a fee for each home to tie into town water.
Yeah.
And the fee for the hydrant and the
Yeah,
water meter, the readout, etc. So I don't have the fees in front of me. John, could you just, so we're all on the same page?
All right.
So you know what you're getting into.
All right, just for the permit per house is $350 per house,
Okay.
okay? Water meter fee is $400. So if you're putting 20 houses in, then you're looking at $15,000. To connect a 3/4 inch to 1 inch water service, it's $2,000. All right, if you're doing 20 units, it's $40,000. If you have the water department tap the services, it's another $2,000 per one, so that'd be another $40,000. But usually the contractor taps it as he's putting it in. The tie-in fee to tie into an 8-inch water main is $8,000. So the total is $63,000 just for the water. And then on the sewer part, it goes by bedrooms, okay?
Yeah.
Permit fee per unit for 1 bedroom is $1,800 times 20 is $36,000. All right, if you go 2 bedroom, it's $48,000. If you go 3 bedroom, it's $72,000. To extend this, the sewer main is $12,000. So if you're going with a 1 bedroom unit, and with that, it's $48,000. So it's $63,000 for the water department, it's $48,000 for the sewer department.
You're not building
That's
one
one
bedroom.
bedroom houses.
And then I don't think they're
Right, so if you
not-
do a 2 bedroom, it's $60,000. If you're doing a 3 bedroom, it's $84,000.
There's, excuse me, one other concern. Wherever you,
Yes.
I hope it's in the proposal, wherever you rip up the road, it can't be just patched. It's gonna be tar the whole road.
Yeah, thank you
Oh,
very much.
Scott, he's gonna be ripping up the whole road, because
They're gonna be
they're
going
gonna
from-
put in an 8-inch water main,
They're gonna go
right?
from
The
all-
sewer's gonna be 10 feet away from that,
Yeah.
so that's gonna rip in, so that's 10 feet there. They're gonna put underground
So they're
electricity.
gonna cover, asphalt the whole road.
They're gonna rip up that
Chester
whole
Road,
road.
yeah, okay, good.
So the planning.
I just don't want it to look like Oxford when you're driving.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah.
I have one other question on that topic. Seeing as how there are currently 2 homes on Jesse Road, one has a makeshift pump station now, and the other one I know has a septic system. I think it's only proper that when that main is installed, that fittings are left out for those houses for the future, if they ever have to put in
Yeah,
pump
T's at
systems.
the T's at each property that potentially could tie it all.
Potential house lot, there should be a,
Yep.
Gonna put a T there.
yeah, for the, well, I'm just saying for the 2 there now.
Right.
No, you should put it for
So
any
it's there.
potential lot.
Or any
If you
potential,
gotta do
if
it,
you think,
if you're gonna do it, do it. You know
You
what I
know,
mean?
any, but, you know, I don't know how many potential lots are across the street though.
There doesn't look like there's that many.
Well, there's,
Well, he's not going up the hill, he's going
No.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're coming back up this way.
Right, so those lots are already sold.
so,
Yeah.
the 2 Jesse Road.
It doesn't matter if they're sold though. You want to put a T for each
Well, like I
property.
say, for
On
the
Jesse-
existing.
I like to see these guys tie in to Jesse Road, because he's running that service now all the way up to Mason Road, dumping into there. And
No, we don't want that going on Jesse Road, we want it going on Mason Road.
right, but I just said 2 Jesse Road has a line right now that's going up to Mason Road, a 1-inch line.
Oh.
With his line department.
Well, he's probably
So
gonna.
I'd like to have them come straight out and tie right into the new main that they're putting in
But
on.
I don't know that you can force them to do that, but you can put a T.
Well, at least put a T.
You should put a T in every buildable lot, just 20 years from now, someone subdivides a T's in the road, you don't have to worry about, you know, all that stuff. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree with you, because typically if someone runs a private sewer line up the road for their own home, that all the
They
abutters
can do it.
have the
Yeah.
privilege of using that.
Yeah.
Can I make a motion to send this to the engineer? Just
Yeah,
get it?
yeah.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to send the blueprint to our engineer for review. It's been seconded. All those in favor?
I-
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous on, we'll be in touch with our engineer and we can converse
Yeah.
in regards to specs, material, but I just wanted to bring that last topic up so you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
One more question. Where the sewer crosses the brook,
Yes.
how are you gonna handle that?
So actually, the sewer, it's better that the sewer is a force main because we have the sizes that cuts through the culvert that's going under the pavement, but it's only going to be a 2-inch PVC that it's going to cross it very easily.
But I'm pretty sure there's specs of how you're gonna cross.
Oh, it might be
Storage.
encased
Yeah,
in a
that's what I meant.
Yeah, you
concrete
could slope
encased.
line
We'll
the
probably
pipe.
sleeve a section of that. Sleeve the section of the actual force main over the culvert. So if it does leak, it won't leak, but if it does leak, it'll be all encased.
I mean, typically, each environment one has 1.25 inch discharge. You think 2 inches large enough? I mean, that's up to, you use a Mahoney?
I'm not
Mahoney
sure.
company?
We haven't, the E1.
I mean, I'm saying the other reps for E1,
Yeah.
Mahoney, you know? I mean, we'd definitely have to have something from the E1 people and your engineer
Yeah.
to show us what the size is,
Mhm.
et cetera. Like I say, this is kind of like preliminary right now.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, you know, the other thing to consider too, with those Ts going down the road, it has to be enough to handle load bed capacity in the future.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, if a 1 inch or 2 inches doing it now, well, we had 5, 10 more lots potentially to it, it might be 2.5 hours. You guys can figure it out, but I would take that into your calculations.
Okay. We'll make sure he knows that these permits are good for 1 year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if it's on your literature in front of you, but typically, once a permit is granted, it's good for 1 year.
Yeah.
So it's not, if a construction job is gonna start, it's done and it's wrapped up in that year. It's not a multi-year.
Yeah, the
Phase
developer that we're working
project.
for is really hot to trot to do this, so.
What size houses are they putting in?
They're not definitive right now, but they're probably two bedroom ranches, most of them. Probably just to mirror a lot of stuff that's on Alton Drive right now. They already built 2 houses. One was right at the edge of Alton Drive, and one in the corner of Jesse and
Oh, he built those
Francis.
houses?
He's the same developer who built those 2 houses.
One right next to Foyce.
What's back in the blank area? Is that more woods?
This right here?
Yeah.
This is all mostly wetland. We're going to deed it over to open space, over to the town. But yeah, it's all woods. And this is all woods right here. The elementary school's over here, I think.
Yeah, further down.
Yeah.
Does Mason Terrace come into that at all? That's further down, right?
No, Mason Terrace is right
It's
in
off
here
that
somewhere.
okay.
Yeah, it's off the page.
What do we need to do at this point? So, just looking for your...
Well, I think water is pretty cut and dry. 8-inch water main, what's required. The main thing is if you want your engineer to review the sewer plans and specs so we know what we're accepting.
Yeah.
Because you have a stream crossing, there's gas, I know there's a gas main in that street. We don't want it coming back in our face 5 years from now.
Yeah.
All right, so is the board going to grant him 20 permits for house?
I think we have to wait until we have the L1 analysis and our engineering analysis, right?
Well, this is water, that's the sewer side, you know?
Right.
Because he's going to have to come
Yeah.
back every year for a permit. Because if he doesn't get these permits now and someone else comes in, and we turn around and give him a permit, he may not be able to have water for this, even though he was the first
I
one
think he
here.
wants a commitment for having the available water,
Yeah.
and we have the
All right.
ability to
Yes.
provide that.
Do we hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we grant the permits for 20 house lots off of Jesse Road
For water.
for water. And we'll leave it at
We'll just amend that they abide by the town rules.
It's going by the,
Which is good for 1 year from today's date.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
It's been seconded, all those in favor? Aye. So when you're saying 1 year, John, you expect to see that job completed at this time next year? Paved roads, houses built?
Yep.
and if they're not, then
You guys come back,
You
you
come
come
back.
back and get some more permit.
you just have to come
Re-up the
back
permits.
and, you know,
Oh, does he have to pay again, or is he, do we?
He doesn't pay anything right now.
doesn't pay anything now.
He doesn't
Okay.
pay anything right
He
now.
pays it, okay. I
So
got
there's
you.
20 permits.
So
There's
he
no
just took
additional
the-
cost,
Said
is
no,
my
go
point. So,
talk about
yeah.
checkbook on it.
It's just a commitment for the water.
Yeah.
And just so that we don't have that water committed out there for
Somebody else.
Yeah, for somebody else.
forever.
Right.
Yeah.
When somebody
So
else
it's
has
good for
it.
1 year, even though you're working on it, you come back and you'll ask for X amount of permits, that's how many houses you're gonna go.
Yeah.
But if you don't get it all done within, say, within 3 years, there may not be enough permits
Yeah.
to finish up the job.
Exactly, yeah. All right. All right, thank you, guys. I'll get in touch with the E1 and I'll keep you guys posted.
Right.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We get a copy of what he got. We get,
Do we have any particular?
I can
Copies
send
of those
you-
prints?
Do we have copies of those prints?
Can we get a copy of that subdivision?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
email it to you guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
one
I'm
is
sorry to give you hard
revised.
copies.
Oh,
I think this is what he had. This is what you have right here, the revised one?
Yes.
From
there's one
March
revised
21st.
one.
We have a
Oh, good.
yeah.
blueprint in the office.
Yeah.
oh,
This
awesome.
is what you had?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just so we have something to send to our engineer.
Yeah. He said it was
All right.
from first.
Item 4, Mike Darwin.
All right.
Good.
Thought there was
Oh, do you have your pen going? Take some notes?
Always. That's my job. I apologize. I thought there would be an easel in the room, so I didn't bring one. So but I
won't be.
got a couple boards. We'll wing it. So I'm Mike Dallhan. I'm a principal with WDA Design Group. And we're here tonight to have a discussion about a potential project on Mr. Ruda's property that introduces.
I know pretty much everybody. Thank you for taking the time, and I want to say, just to start, that your clerk was called me to remind me of the meeting, which that doesn't happen these days. So, I don't know.
Otherwise you would've forgot.
I don't know how much you're paying.
Otherwise, you would have forgot, huh?
Well, I wouldn't have forgotten, but I mean, honestly, it was very refreshing.
You wouldn't be golfing or
Like,
watching
hey,
the Red
just
Sox
want to let you
tonight.
know you're coming. It was very efficient.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, I'm going to pull them up here for you. So, this is Mr. Ruda's property. It has frontage on Airport Road.
Mm-hmm.
It has frontage on Dudley Hill Road. Is everybody familiar with the
Yep.
property? All right, then I'm going to skip right in. So, about a month ago or so, we attended a pre-application hearing with the planning board to discuss an OSRD project at this property. We developed a yield plan for conventional subdivision. It yields about 16 units. The OSRD with all the density bonuses. Well, talk about efficient.
Well, she's good.
Wow.
She is.
Don't let her go.
Thank you so much. I'll grab this one better, put it behind it. So like I said, we met with the planning board last month for a pre-application discussion of the project. I feel like it was received really well. One of the items they asked us to do is to come here and have an informal conversation with you folks to tell you what we're thinking of doing, give you an idea of what's going on, and then gain some preliminary input for you before we move forward with the actual special permit application and definitive subdivision process. So as you probably know, this is Mr. Ruda's home. There's another A&R lot out here, and then there's a separate existing home on what used to be a portion of the property. It's subdivided out now, and that's their driveway, their existing driveway, which we would reuse and just add an easement to get to there. So there's 22 units. Again, OSRD, so it's senior house, what's considered senior housing, 55 plus. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Each floor plan is about 4,000 square feet, 2-car garages. We've been working with a realtor to find out what the optimum, everybody says, wow, it's because they're pretty decent size. But that's the type of unit and size of unit that is selling, and that's what the market is looking for these days. So that's why we're going with that. They're a little bit bigger than the ones on John's Way, I think it is, that just got built. The other OSRD subdivision on the other side of town. They're a little bigger than that, but that's what the market dictated then. This is what the market is dictating now.
Dublin.
In Dublin.
I get 2,400 square feet, I want to go down. Looking around, the kids are going, like, where?
Well, you mentioned, what, 22 units of 4,000 square feet apiece?
About that.
So, tell me, 22 units with 44 residential homes, residential customers?
22 units, yes, 2-bedroom. Each one is 2-bedroom, 2
But
bath.
on each, what I'm getting at is, each home is 4,000 square feet?
No,
No,
each duplex.
each duplex.
Okay, so
Each duplex.
you were talking 20,
2,000.
yeah, but so we're talking 22 sites for a total of 44 customers.
44 residents?
Yeah.
No, 44 individual homeowners.
No.
No.
22
22
units, each is
Okay.
2-bedroom.
11 buildings, 22 units.
Close. Some of them are 3 together.
There's two
so-
threes.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
three.
If you want to look at it that way, yeah, she'll show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, I was counting them as
10
doubles then when you.
Yeah, okay. All right, 'cause
So
that-
their triple is gonna be
3 units.
Yeah.
3 units, so
Three units,
6,000.
Yeah, about
So
Square foot
mostly 2 units, but three triples.
Yep.
2 triples.
2 triples and the rest of
Triples and
them.
the rest of them are
Okay,
doubles.
all right.
Yeah,
Yep, looks nice.
yeah.
So in other words, when I look at it, I see a double, that's not four individual.
No,
That's
sir.
3 units.
Okay. Sorry, that was unclear. So-
4 beds.
Yeah.
The one on the top left they're not connected. Is that the one you're looking at that looks like 4?
No, I'm just trying to think, you said 22 units, is it 22 units with two
Oh, I see what you
Two
mean.
families.
No.
you
So
know,
each one-
firewall down the middle, left and right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is it
No, I
you know, left and right with a firewall? That's what I'm getting at, as far as inhabitants.
Yeah.
2
22
families.
separate units,
Yeah.
22
probably
separate
2
units.
people in
Yeah.
each one.
Right, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, each one. So that's where we are. We haven't gotten much further than that. You know, we've looked at what we think are some preliminary water and sewer flow calculations based on Title V. And, you know, for elderly housing, of course, for under Title V is about 150 gallons per day per 2 bedrooms. So we're looking at probably about 3,300 gallons per day. We feel for sewer, and we usually use a multiplier of about 10% for water. You know,
Yeah,
so
what-
we're talking about 3,600 gallons a day for water, not counting fire or.
I think DEP is around 65 per person per day, so
Yeah.
130.
Yeah. So it comes out to pretty close to the same. Yeah. So I think that's what we're looking at. That's as far as we've gotten. So we're on our little tour of meeting all the individual boards now.
If I could interrupt, what we'd like to do is get permission for water, because we're to the point where my brother and I, as owners, we're looking at some bigger engineering fees, as you can well imagine. Well, if we don't get water and sewer,
Right.
you know, then we have to decide whether we're either gonna proceed. So actually, we're asking for a permit similar to the gentleman that just left.
The only concerns I would have, at that particular part of town, isn't there a water pressure issue in that area? Well, you live there.
It's
so
not the
yeah.
greatest, and you should put in pumps. to boost
We
the pumps.
understand that. Yeah, we understand that.
Okay.
One of the questions I actually have was, do you know, maybe Mr. Superintendent, do you know, is the water system on Airport and the water system on Dudley the
Yes.
same system? So if we
Yes.
made a connection through there.
We're gonna make you connect.
There you go. All right,
Okay,
so
we
we were
gotta
gonna
tie-
offer that anyway.
Okay,
We were
you're gonna
offer that.
tie into the airport road, and you're gonna tie back into Dudley Hill Road.
That's correct. That's correct. And that'll help, I think that'll help
Right.
with the pressure. Yeah, so that's something. we're
But
gonna-
still, you wanna get probably booster pumps to take a second floor, and they get showers
Yeah,
up
they're
there.
gonna be
These are all single level.
Single
because
level.
They're age
One floor.
restricted, so they're all single level. There's no
Okay.
second floor. Yeah, there's no second
When,
floor. That's why the footprint's a little bit bigger too, right?
Yeah,
Because
no,
everything's
that's-
consolidated up to 1 floor.
So this is much like what was built over off of Bigelow Road in Webster.
The bigger.
yeah,
Some
generally
Kelly's development.
speaking, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right.
There's a lot of single families in there, I think, though, on that one.
There are some singles and some
Yeah.
duplexes, yes.
But there's one at the old winery in West Dudley.
Yeah.
That's actually how we got involved in this, because there was one for sale. And Mary and I were thinking, it's time to get them, you know, less maintenance and so forth. So we went and looked at it, we loved it, but it only had a one-car garage.
So if you can move
That
into
was
it, you
the
might as well
big
just
downer.
build
I'm
one.
like, I'm not gonna be in New England shoveling my car out.
If you can move into one, you might as well just build a bunch.
Well,
What are you gonna do? You're gonna tear down your existing house and put one of these up?
I'm not planning on tearing it
No,
down.
those are
no.
existing.
The house can stay, that's,
Where do you, where's Bob, where do you live now?
I live in the second floor right of
Oh,
that
I
house.
thought you lived in a house down in the back there.
You're gonna
No, I
use
sold that a long
You're
time
using a
ago.
driveway from the old dairy?
We're using the existing driveway, we're slightly relocating it, there's a existing barn.
Right.
Mr. Ruta's already
From the
gotten
Ruta's
a-
Dairy back in the day.
He's
Yeah,
getting a
That's
demolition
where I
permit.
live right now.
Yeah.
We live.
You're in the process of getting a demolition.
Yes,
permit, is that correct?
yeah,
Is that
I've
this-
applied to the building inspector for a demo. Because even if the
Take the
project
barn
doesn't
down.
go, that's coming down.
Yeah.
Yeah, one way or the other. So that's your driveway, Dudley Hill Road. So a person can drive right through and
Come on up.
connect right over to Airport Road again.
In theory, yeah, I mean, we're gonna have a sort of a T intersection here, so we're making it a little less desirable. And under the conventional subdivision, you know, basically the road just flows right through, so it'd make it a lot easier. We're trying to make it a little more difficult for people to cut through. Right? We
Do
don't
you
want-
know anything on elevations for the sewerage system?
Not yet, no, sir.
Because what I'm questioning is, on that sewerage system, no way do we want it going down Airport Road into that pump station. We have a pump station at the bottom of Tanyard Road that is just so overworked, because it takes all of the college area, Dudley Hill area, and with the infiltration and inflow. We're actually doing a study on it now. That thing just runs non-stop. So I just don't see 22 units going into that. It'd be much easier to come out onto Dudley Hill Road and come into a gravity main, so there's no pumping.
Dudley Hill goes to
The-
Main Street.
Isn't the Dudley Hill Road, Main, coming up from West Main, dead end,
No, you're gonna be tying,
before the intersection?
you're gonna be tying in over by Tony's house.
Yeah, by the church.
Yeah,
But that would be very shallow there, wouldn't it?
it's 5 feet, I believe.
So we pump it.
Yeah, pump to it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, that's an
I'm a
engi-
gravity guy.
no, I mean, that's an engineering feat.
You're gonna have to put the taller foundation.
What's the distance of your road network for your furthest 800 feet?
Yeah, about that.
I mean, a quarter, you need 8 feet of pitch. Even at 1%, you need 8 to 9 feet of pitch to get to the furthest location, no matter how you look at it. So you're looking, hate to say it, either an on-site pump station that you would be responsible for, because we're not gonna be responsible for an on-site pump station, an on-site pump station, or, once again, an engineered E1 system.
For each of the individual units that we need.
There's another alternative too. I know about 10 years ago, the state of Mass was talking about basically a big septic system for that development. Everyone would pump into this thing to discharge everything back into the local ground, not 5 miles away into the sewage plant. So if all those other systems don't work, and it may be more expensive to do that, I don't know. But you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
I'm sure there's somewhere, but we were talking about doing that in certain parts of town.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Is it conceivable, just throwing an idea out there, I know you talked about that pumping station being overworked, but, you know, it already is, so it seems like you're gonna have to do something there anyway. Based on that, on the pitch, could we have part of the system pitched by gravity to Dudley Hill, and the other part that wouldn't be satisfied by gravity go
Well,
into
right now,
go into Airport
we're under the
Road?
scrutiny of the DEP, doing flow monitoring. I don't know if you've seen them, they've been all
Yeah.
over town for the last 3 weeks, and that's one of our main
That's
problems.
our worst spot.
That's the worst station, the infiltration coming into that station now, and that's why all our calls are there, and that thing just works, John, 24/7, and it's, what, 60 years old? With minor upgrades.
So it sounds to me like, without knowing much about it, that infiltration is water from groundwater.
Yes.
coming in.
Groundwater getting in, yeah.
So as your study goes and you find where it's coming from and fix it, it makes the situation better.
And we don't have the money to fix it. We barely came up with the money for the study, but
Yeah.
we're being forced into it by the DEP. That's our predicament.
But I mean,
Yeah,
I don't have a lot of money for things either, but some things you just gotta do, right?
yeah.
But I'm just saying, we have to be aware of protecting that pump station.
Yeah.
If gravity going the other way is an alternative, it's a far better alternative
sure.
than making Tanya Road, which affects,
I don't think DEP will let us put any more into that pump.
you know, I say,
It
that
makes more sense to send it down to West Main Street.
West Main Street than to handle it.
It sounds like there's options, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think that's the most important.
Our biggest fear, like you say, is that pump station.
Yeah, so this would be, as an OSRD project, this would be condominium, it would be owned by a condominium association. The road would not be a town road, it would be a private road.
Private road.
So any kind of, whether we do individual stations for the units that need them or one station, it would all be owned by and maintained by the condominium
Yeah.
association anyway. The town wouldn't have any maintenance requirements for it.
We've just inherited subdivision
How-
pumping stations.
Yeah.
How many pump stations do you
I'll
have
get
now
that-
you
I'll
have to
get
check
that
every day?
11.
We have 11 pump stations we have to check every day that we've absorbed, and some of them, we've had to take their escrow money from the planning board to do repairs that they never came back to finish. So that's why that's why the E1s come in place. It's on the property owner to repair the E1. We're not, we're done technology-wise. Once the E1 or the Bonds pump came out on the market, there's no reason for someone to put a pump station at the end of the road,
Agreed.
you know?
So, and just to give you some further confidence in it, one of the elements that the planning board will ask us to develop for the master deed for this, if it goes through, is that it remains privately owned in perpetuity. And that's what they did at John's Way. The master deed has language in it that says no matter what happens, no matter what, town is never going to be responsible for it. And they're asking us to write the same language for this project, and we'll be doing the same thing. We're trying to decide whether we want to take this to the full permitting level right now. So we're here to try to get input and feedback to find out what the board thinks and the feasibility of the water and sewer availability and connection. So that's sort of the kind of information we'd like to leave with tonight so that we can continue our discussions and move on with Concom as well.
On the water side, we're going to require you to put in an 8-inch ductile main, put in the fire hydrants,
Of course.
okay?
Of course.
And you said you're going to go from Airport Road, you're going to loop into Dudley Hill.
Correct.
And Dudley Hill is a 6-inch main, and on Airport Road, it's a 12-inch main.
Okay. All right. That's all perfectly fine. It's normal practice. Yeah.
Is there a double fee for connecting both ends of that?
No, we'll just charge you for the 1 8-inch, the same thing we just
Great
had people
question.
on Jesse Road.
I would have never thought of that in a million years. I've been
Well,
doing this
because
for
it helps us
25 years.
both.
Right, we're not going to double bang you, we'll just get you one.
To connect both ends of a pipe.
Yeah,
Can I trade that for gravity? I'll trade that in a gravity pump.
Yeah, I mean, well, how's the board feel, water and sewer wise?
We have
The only
capacity.
question is sewer, where's it going? You can't go to that pump station.
Well, that's why
It'd have to go to Dudley.
it'd have to be
It's
it's
a no-brainer.
Is there any possibility of a couple going to Airport Road? If we can eliminate pumping altogether?
You're talking like the top.
If we could do like 3/4 of it to Dudley Hill Road by gravity, you said 5 feet?
Yep.
And say there's 2 or 3 buildings that need to go to Airport Road.
The top 3 buildings with the two.
Yeah, I'm just speculating. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't think that the
I don't know
let's
if
put
the
any
DEP
more
will allow us
into
to.
Because for the same reason that you don't want pumps, obviously, I want to live there. I don't really want to pump either.
When are we going to hear from the DEP on this study?
They're gonna be doing it for 10 weeks, and they'll be sending the study to DEP's approval in June.
And DEP approves it in June, or it goes to?
It goes to
It gets done in, next June.
Yeah, it goes to them, and they approve what Diamond Bond says and what what they're recommending for us to do
Do they have a timeline of how long they can have it for?
DEP.
Yeah. So
They
they
do
a year to review it.
They do what they want, but at least we'll get a thing from Ty and Bond, what they sent to DEP, where our problems are, and where we can start, and they're gonna have a cost too, and what does it cost to get it fixed, so we can start doing something on our part to stop some of this infiltration.
So we can start addressing it while we're waiting.
Right, hit whatever we can.
We have an alarm system in there now at Tanya Road.
Yes,
Do we have any data on it? The pump cycles?
yeah, I can get it.
You can get it from Mahoney, right?
Yeah. Let us know how often it's going.
Yeah.
You pumping a tank once a month?
Huh?
Are you pumping that tank once a month?
No.
Less than that?
Yeah.
There was just an article in, I think it was a Telegram recently about, this new federal budget, where it's like soup to nuts got passed, the document that this high and nobody could read. Anyway, they claim that there's a lot of infrastructure money in there for federal funding of projects. I don't know if that's something you want to.
We tried that when Obama came out with that shovel-ready stuff. We must have submitted 10 plans.
Yeah,
For
but
the
they
town of
just
Dudley.
passed the soup to nuts
They
budget,
didn't
right?
even, they didn't even,
Try again.
I mean,
I actually just read that there was
I see your
infrastructure.
point conversation-wise, but you can see our point too.
Yeah.
When that pump station goes wrong, it comes out of the manhole and it floods the Nichols College athletic field.
Yeah.
And that's,
Unacceptable.
yeah, that's an issue. It picks up the whole campus, it picks up Dudley Hill, it picks up such a large area. And is that a duplex system in there now, John?
Yes.
And how old are they?
Not too old. You guys just had them done, what, about 10 years ago now, yeah?
So, yeah, probably 13.
Yeah.
That's that pump station by the field?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Walker Hill, yeah.
Down in the hole.
Yeah, it's gotta be 15, 20 feet down.
Oh, yeah.
deep.
Oh, it's
It's
way down,
deep.
yeah.
So we have the water capacity?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that-
So the concern is sewer. Sewer needs to
It
get
has to
that.
go to Dudley Hill, because until the EP says,
Now,
A question on the water, John. You said the pressure in that area was low.
Well, now that I know they're single
You
families,
might be able to get by.
you might get it by, it's up to them if they
I'm
want.
just question,
How does it
my
impact
question
the
It's
is,
gonna be above what the state requires, but,
is it gonna lower the other houses in that area?
oh, no. There's 12-inch main coming down, it's not gonna affect it at all.
does that property connect to Airport Road? You've got the connection on Dudley Hill, over towards the church, over near your house over on the church. Does it connect anywhere else up in there further up? Like behind your old house, behind the
Oh, right away wise.
behind the
Right-of-way-wise?
road,
No.
There's a utility right of way.
Yeah.
behind the
The
mansion.
church's gas line is currently cuts, if you were to,
Kinda
be
like
like in my backyard and you
Yeah.
look out towards the church, you see all the woods, the forest on the left. It's right along that forest and it goes out to Airport Road. It goes to the rectory and then it goes to the church. So there's a utility easement there already.
I was just
Hold on. It's still
wondering
tough
if there was a way to connect that upper area to Dudley Hill.
Well,
That's the-
it doesnn't go, the utility easement goes to the
That's the
church's
utility
property.
Yeah.
But then
from the record.
not across it.
I was talking about maybe over in this area here. If there was any connectivity over, any way to connect over that way.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. There's houses over there. I just didn't know where exactly they were.
There's a sewer easement going through my old lot there. You can see it going out to the intersection right there. That's a possibility.
because
that-
by a
that-
bunch though.
I'm connecting
Coming out
that
right
up.
near there anyway, so it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just, rather than having to run all the way or through the
Understood,
decision.
understood.
I don't know, I'm not an engineer, I don't.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the utility easement goes to Airport Road again.
But they have capacity on those utilities on Airport Road.
Okay, so we can commit to the water for sure, right? Or can we? We can
Yeah,
commit to the
all in
water.
favor of committing
So if
to
the sewer, you know, that's the concern.
We can
is that
commit to
it
the
needs to
sewer.
get to Dudley Hill Road.
Yeah, we can commit to sewer at Dudley Hill Road. The question is, again, does it need to be reviewed for, and it's not as long a distance or anything, but for that smell test, if you will, make sure it doesn't.
If it gets to that,
Doesn't
Yeah, if we
stagnate.
get that far.
if it gets,
Yeah,
We don't know how it's gonna be designed yet, we haven't
Yeah.
started design.
they're not even in the design phase yet.
That's correct.
Okay.
Correct, we're just in.
Just
we
We're
have
just looking
to-
for a commitment of water and sewer
That's correct,
connectivity.
that's correct.
So
we know that it's-
I'll make a motion that we approve connectivity for this Airport Road project for water and sewer contingent on the fact that the sewer goes to Dudley Hill.
And the design bit.
And that it's a one, as the last one, it's a 1-year permit, needs to be renewed, so that we're not tying up for
You want to see the drawings and stuff.
We wanna-
This
we
is
wanna
kind
see-
of-
we
it's
wanna see-
kind of a conditional preliminary, yes,
Yeah.
we think
Right.
you can
Yeah.
tie in.
Right.
Preliminary,
Yeah.
not going to
We
issue.
understand.
we wanna know that
He's
there's.
just trying to lock up the water.
That's
So
right.
you
Yeah.
can go forward, not worry about not getting the water.
Right, we don't wanna
So
go
why
through
don't
the
we
whole
vote
process
on
and
that?
find out.
That-
Let's
that's-
vote
so-
on,
Did Scott say 20?
22.
22 units.
22.
22 units?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the motion is to approve 22 single-family units, and it would be to abide by the town of Dudley's Water Department's regulations for tie-in fees and material, et cetera, just so you know, it's, what are we talking, 22 times what, 366? It's talking $75,000-$80,000 in water fees, just so you know that, before
We have
that you're
everything,
responsible for,
yeah,
you know?
we have everything done as 20 units, not 22.
Yeah.
It's actually 22.
Yeah.
It's 22 if we get the full.
Right.
I'll second that.
Right. It's a maximum of 22, let's put it that
Okay,
way.
so the motion's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Is it a fees? Yeah, this is-
Unanimous. And,
By
you know, the water is available, once again.
Okay, thank
They'd
you.
have to be in touch with this, the superintendent.
Mhm.
In other words, no plastic water main underground, it'd be a ductile line,
Of course, absolutely.
location of hydrants, et cetera.
Can you put that, you have a spot right here that I'm gonna require you to have a hydrant right here.
Absolutely, at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Right,
Sure, of
because
course.
that way, like, if they get dirty water, we can flush it,
Yep.
and then have another one here.
No, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. When we, if and when we move forward with it, we'll obviously meet before you guys again. We'll coordinate with you, I'll have
Okay.
my PE coordinate with you, and we'll typical, you know, do the process, whatever you guys need us to do, is what we'll do.
There's a lot, yeah.
So-
We're very early in this.
Right,
Yeah.
but before my brother and I spend a lot more money with people like Mike, we at least
You need to have a
You will be
drink.
around.
well, at least we know there's water available.
That's
to
what it
us,
is.
And there's sewer available, basically, if we,
Yeah.
Sewer's available, like Scott says,
It's gotta
we're
get-
staying away from the pumping station, it has to terminate at a gravity line.
is the line on Dudley Hill Road a gravity line?
I don't know the exact location of manholes and what it's set
It's up
to,
on where the W Hill and,
where the fork is.
The last manhole is right
Road.
past the driveway for my brother's two family over there.
that's
right
where,
after the church.
Danny had dumps in, up that way.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, they
So-
should be able to get to sewer.
So if you
So
went,
we will be able to get to it.
if you went out
These
Airport, it's gonna
E1
go down there,
systems
and
have
it's gonna
been
come back
around
to
a
Dudley
while.
Hill, so it's gonna come back.
All
down.
the
Treasure
Treasure
Island
anyway,
is
so you might as well
E1
just
pumps.
Go that way.
Treasure Island,
Reduced to half a mile.
those
Okay.
are all pumps.
Really?
Dudley Hills pumps.
Yeah,
All the
Dudley
ones
Hills
by the
pumps.
golf course are pumping.
Yeah.
along
I think
that first
a couple
line.
of people really have to replace one already.
Yeah, they do go.
10, 15 years.
Any electric motor on the water is gonna go, simple as that, you know?
So where these are duplex units, that each side would have an E1 pump, a separate service for each side.
And on the same subject, duplex units, each one's going to have its own water service too,
Its own water meter.
with its own water meter.
I think that's better anyway.
Well,
yeah,
we've been
otherwise
down
you could
that
fight.
road with condos, et cetera.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, someone's not paying their water bill,
No, everything's
not
gonna
paying
be
their sewer
individual.
bill, and it comes time to shut them off. Yeah, so each house would have a, off the main, a tap, a curb stop, et cetera, to its own water meter,
Yeah.
its own readout. Each home would be a customer. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
We're fine.
good.
Fine, thank you.
Well, did we
we had a
did
motion
finish?
and
Did we make a
second.
motion for sewer also, or is that just for
No, just
water?
water.
I don't think you're ready for the water.
Oh, no,
I don't
okay.
think the
Just
sewer's
water.
gonna run.
Okay.
But the indication I'm leaving with is that we're
Yeah,
gonna be allowed
yeah,
to, under the- what we discussed.
Based on the plans you're gonna show us.
Yeah.
It's
We
kind
don't have
of,
to put in 22 septic systems.
You're just gonna have to bust out the kufatic.
I've never done that, so I don't have any experience.
Drink out.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate
so
it.
that they know that it's.
We voted though, right?
All right.
Yeah.
For what? Oh, as John mentioned, 1 year time frame.
So,
Pardon me?
a
1 year
year, a year
timeframe.
from now, we.
So,
have a
one,
net-
yeah, so 1 year time frame from this evening.
Right.
Okay.
So, within,
There's a pretty strong possibility that this won't be constructed in a year, so we'll be.
I doubt
And
it.
the only
just
reason-
come back and give us an update.
The only
Yeah,
reason
come back
being-
and update and extend it. Are the extensions in 1 year increments as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, the whole thing is we gotta find out what's gonna be developed in town, we gotta find out what's going on at the Stevenson and Mill.
Mhm.
Okay, so with the Jesse Road project and with your project, I'm gonna recommend to this board that after tonight, with all the other people, that we only give out single-family permits to tie into town water, no more big projects, until we see how much water Jesse's gonna use, you're gonna use, and what's gonna happen at Stevenson and Mill.
Right here just in time, huh?
Yeah, because, yeah, we don't want to overcommit and
Oh,
end up with
absolutely.
a problem.
Years ago, we lifted the moratorium basically for single family only. And honestly, what, in the last 10 years, you probably haven't put
I'm gonna put about 10.
10 single-family homes on, you know what I mean? And we are in the revenue business also, you know what I mean? You have to sell water, but we also are seriously capped by the DEP as to how many gallons we can draw from our aquifers every day. And where are you now, as far as?
I'm safe. I am safe
You're
right
safe,
now,
you
but
know.
like I said, once they, I don't know what's going on at the mill.
Yeah, I
They're
know,
gonna-
I know.
If they're gonna put 100 units in there.
But,
they-
like I say, we have one pump station capped at 288, and another one capped at 350, and the one that's capped at 350 goes to potassium hydroxide, like, you know,
Drinks it.
it drinks it, and that's $10,000 a load every time the delivery comes. And obviously, the other associated costs, electrical, et cetera. And we have been fighting with the DEP for 8 to 10 years to increase Station 6,
Yeah.
and we're still at a standstill to get more water out of the ground. We pay a permit fee to the DEP to take water out of the ground.
Yeah, we pay taxes on the water we take out of the ground. I get a bill every year.
We get a bill from the DEP for taking water out of the French River aquifer.
Who you pay that to?
To the state,
To the
Massachusetts.
state,
Massachusetts.
to the state. It's the state of Massachusetts
Everybody
water.
does, all the towns do that.
Yep.
We pay 2 fees to Providence and Worcester Railroad because we have water mains under where past
tracks.
railroads were.
And they
that right?
they own the land.
They own the land above
In the
it.
land above
Boy,
it.
that's a nice racket.
We pay for Mill Road and Schofield Ave for a fee for our water main being underneath their non-existent
So
railroad.
you pay them a fee for the right.
Privilege to be
Yeah.
underneath their
You
railroad.
mean Schofield Ave, but it's not even a track anymore?
On Mill Road.
Yeah, it's no, no.
If they own the land, the tract to
They-
them.
It's a right of way.
It's Worcester
They own the
Railroad,
right of way.
We pay it.
We pay a fee to go underneath to have our water main there.
Yeah, they probably figured shut down the train lines.
I should have bought that land.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, well.
Any questions?
We'll look
Any
forward to
questions?
updates.
Yep.
Call the office.
Yeah, like Mike said, we probably won't be built at that point, but we'll be showing you that we're
Yeah.
making
Yeah, we'll
progress.
be
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
program.
We're not just gonna forget it and say, yeah, you know, in 20 years, but we're gonna start on it.
All right.
Thank you.
Very good.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Sorry to take
Updates,
so much
that's all.
time.
Let me just clean up.
Can I help you with something?
Good, that's not.
Oh, if we have too many cameras.
My brother Jim, obviously, he's older than me.
Since we're on the
Thanks for the call.
All right, guys.
Yeah, but he said it like,
Yeah, I know,
like
I know. I'm
he
gonna
meant
take
you looked it.
care of it.
Thanks a lot.
Take care of him outside.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Cut him down a notch.
See you guys.
John Krasinski.
Do you,
Permits like
have a
videos.
copy of,
What we're,
I haven't seen it, but I think it's when you go down your road to the left.
yeah, and
Jesse
JB,
Road.
No,
JB.
JB. There's, for years you had a right of way there, right, John?
There is a section of,
That's Vendetti's driveway, per se?
yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Vendetti's driveway was, well, it's.
It's a right.
on private, yeah.
The entrance to his property where his driveway
His driveway
turns
goes
right.
off of the.
Yeah, yeah. I took a look at that.
Yeah.
And it's just a, what you call
Shepherd
a
Avenue.
five lot subdivision.
Comes
That,
downstairs like this, Mason Road's on here. This is Vendetti's house over here.
So are you looking for water and sewer, John?
yes,
Yeah.
we're looking, I'll tell you the God's honest truth here, we're looking to sell the property. But,
Oh, all right, that's,
in other words, the shovel's not gonna touch the ground from our hands.
Oh, you're looking to sell it as a,
As
with a
subdivision.
provision, as a sub,
JB.
I see. Okay.
So it's behind Slick's house.
Yes.
Some of it,
All
yeah.
right, and where Monopoly used to live over there, right? Monopoly family, it's behind there?
yeah,
All right.
74. 74.
It's
I know
small
where
town,
this
small
is.
town America, refer to places by
Mason Road.
who lived where.
This is where Mike Vendetti lives.
I'm not totally sure, but I don't need to be.
Because it looks like this is a driveway if you.
Yeah, yeah, right,
Oh,
yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
looks like
yeah.
right now,
I never knew what the heck was back there.
yeah. No, I went and looked at it today. There's room.
Should be
Lot of
definitely
room
sewer
over there.
capacity over there. I think that's an issue.
No, the, what you call the sewer, it's just a gravity drain. It's the, what you call, the length of the road is gonna only be like 375 feet or something like that.
Yeah.
And, we're looking for a, to, be able to sell the property with the, you know, accepted as, a usable subdivision property.
The new owner would still have to come before us for permission.
And that's, just as long as he can get his foot in the door, then that's all that we're looking for.
5 houses, right, John?
That's correct.
Single family house?
Yep.
With sewer and water.
Yep.
Well, that's where your newest sewer main is.
Yeah,
Last
that's
10 or 15 years.
The only problem there would be when it flows down Mason Road to where the fire station is, right?
Yep.
That's still an issue?
Well, that's, well, we got one of those meters from the INI, right at Luther Lane and Mason Road. And we got one just above on West Main Street in Mason Road. So that will all tell us everything in the INI study when it comes down, comes in.
We go down Sawmill with the sewer? No, we didn't.
Yes.
Go down
Yes.
to,
Yeah.
goes all the way down.
You can go down to
Charlton.
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Yeah, but then you go all the way down through.
No,
the woods.
you wouldn't do that, it's all lead in
Yeah.
there and there's not enough,
Yeah.
there's not enough customers to pay
Lawrence
for
is
it.
pumped it back this way.
Right,
Yes.
pumped up
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
You'd
top
have to
of,
pump up
or not the top.
Charlton Road.
Yeah,
to,
it doesn't go to, there's all rock.
Lakeview, and gravity feed to Lakeview Ave number 2
Yeah.
station, pumps over to Lakeview Ave number 1 station, and then it gets pumped up to Mason Road.
Yep.
So this looks like it'd be a gravity system. I
Absolutely.
imagine that main's deep enough on JBF.
Yeah, because this is up on a hill.
Yeah, and what do you have for a water main on JBF?
6.
And I know
6, but
that,
we're gonna require 8 inches like that.
And a hydrant
Hydrant
at the
at the
end.
end.
that station's on, what is it, Grace Lane?
Yeah,
That's what the station,
Grace Brentwood, yeah, Grace and
I think we
Brentwood.
call it Grace,
Yeah.
yeah, and that station was built with all that area.
Yeah, this part is gonna go right down Mason Road.
This would
Where
be
it
gravity.
Oh,
It's all
yeah,
been
the only thing
gravity.
that would impact this is that I&I stuff, but,
Yeah.
So you're just looking for a permit, a year permit, and that's transferable to if you sell it to somebody?
Yep.
Yeah, but we can't, we've never, I'm sorry, I don't know about water, but we've never sold the permit with the property. It's always the developer gets the permit.
All right, what we do is, when we give a water permit, it's, can only stay at that property. The homeowner, the guy can't turn around and take it down to another street.
Oh, no, it stays with the property, but it can transfer from somebody owning that specific property to another person.
Yes, but he'll have to come back to the board saying that we gave him water rights, and then he'll have to.
You want to renew it, or
We'll
whatever,
renew it,
or
right.
upgrade it, whatever you want to
Right.
update it.
No,
So
the
ba-
suicide, sorry, but unless things change, the suicide, we've had it, it's okay for that person to put sewer on that property, but if somebody else owns that land, they have to come back and ask permission again. That's the way we've
They've
done it.
never
on
been
suicide.
transferable. They have never been transferable in the past.
On sewer or water or both?
On sewer. I don't know water, but.
You know, on water, we give it to that property. It stays with that
That's-
property, no
it's
matter
not-
who owns it.
Yes,
It stays with that property.
that's probably not a bad idea to do. I
I'm
mean,
just saying that's the way it's been
Yeah,
done. I don't care one way or the other, because they're still gonna come before the board to ask
yeah,
permission.
I think it's more intelligent tied to the property, because you're saying that this specific lot has the ability to, we can handle this lot. Doesn't matter if Joe owns it, or Bob owns it, or Susie owns it, or
Yep.
whoever, it's
And
tied to the lot. I think that makes more
the other
sense.
thing is the permit is for a single family.
Yeah.
The new owner can't come in here and put an apartment house in.
That's
That is a single
completely different
family.
permit or process. Yeah, I agree with that.
You can see his point, how can you sell the property to someone if?
Yeah, it's a selling point. Hey, I went to the board, they said
Yeah.
you're all set.
This is Mason Road.
Yeah, so you're looking for
Okay,
permission
this is
for your
that
water
driveway
and
that goes
sewer to
back
get
to
the
the
project
house.
going.
Yeah,
Couple houses.
towards the schools
I-
and everything.
Towards the middle school. All right, now I know where it is.
I'll make a
Is that much
motion.
land back there? Wow.
We're over here, about 3.5.
I know, but is that much land back
Yeah,
there?
wooded,
So
you
by law,
can't see it.
if we're gonna-
It's
I
3
didn't
acres.
realize there was that much back
Well,
there.
a rule,
Yeah,
that's all we've had a
it's-
rule.
Yeah, we can say that one.
Decent
It's,
move.
it's
I-
there.
I
I
want to,
looked at it today. I was surprised how much room there was in there.
I want to make a motion that we give out the, I don't know if it's called rights or whatever it is, but we give a preliminary permit that says that this property, the properties will be able to tie into water and sewer, and it's contingent upon, obviously, plans being developed for that property. 5 months?
Five permits.
Five permits. I'm
Five
sorry,
permits.
For the 5 individual properties. And it's for single homes.
I agree with what you're saying, Scott, but we should relate it to the property that's also known as J.K. Lane
Okay.
on this document.
Yeah,
I mean, we have, like you say, we have to tie it to a piece of property,
Sure.
you know?
Well, it's Shepherd Heights here, right?
No, that's going to be set by Shepherd Heights. I'm just calling this, what, was that what you have it on paper, John, J.K. Lane?
Yeah, well, there, as a matter of fact, here to really find out if we have to have any more drawings made up as far as for the line, for the sewer line, the water line is gonna follow as far as whatever distance.
Yeah, you'd have to
away.
have drawings made up, yeah.
Here's what we could do then. This is from a registered engineer, somewhere there has to be paperwork on there, that this piece of paper has been presented us, and it must be registered somewhere. Just so we tie them.
Well, yeah, this
Together.
guy is from Southbridge here.
Yeah, they're
Barrow.
done, he's retired, he's done.
Okay, yeah, well, the thing is, my dad had this, what you call, done in
74.
74.
Are there lot numbers on there or anything? Can you say the right of way that exists at whatever number of
as far as.
JB Ave is the entrance and it's located behind these?
Wait, let's vote on,
Okay, go ahead, please.
and then we can, John, Laurie, you guys can talk how you want it worded, such and such plot,
Right.
such and
Right,
such
right.
registry
So
of
let's-
deed land. You know what I mean?
You wanna vote on a water,
Yeah.
water, and
Water
sewer,
and
right.
sewer.
Right, yeah, so you
Preliminary,
can proceed, right.
This is the preliminary vote
Yeah.
Yes.
based on the
Right,
drawings,
so he
right?
They have
can
everything
develop
ready.
his
Kind of
plan.
submitted.
Because there's no
Come
detailed
out.
design yet, so we
Yeah.
really
Right.
don't know, saying, yes, oh yeah, you can use that design.
I'm just
So,
saying, like we talked about, at least we tie it to a location.
Sure, I understand.
Well, he's just trying to tie up his water, so he knows he can move
This
forward.
is the what you call the actual.
Well, that's the original one.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
as far as for the line, for the sewer line. There's a manhole right at the end of, where the.
Right at the intersection, yep.
And I know that there's enough of pitch because the last manhole is probably
Yeah, it is.
the same distance there.
That's
And there is a
Sewer
hydrant
commissioners, Darren, okay, Charlie, Darren.
Yeah,
I'll
they're way down.
right over there.
That was before me, before Tom.
A long time
Yeah,
ago.
so,
Oh, all the
Yeah,
shit.
whatever,
Yeah,
like I
no,
say, we're
it's
not gonna
cool.
put a shovel in the
No,
ground
no,
anyway.
it's
It's
cool.
just for research.
Right there,
Yeah.
Carmody. Those are different names.
Those are different.
That's the
yeah.
planning board.
All right.
Okay, make your motion, Scott.
All right, I want to restate my
Okay.
motion to say that I believe, well, you should give preliminary permission to tie in water and sewer for the 5 individual home properties located off of JB Ave. And the description of those properties will be put down in the paper by Mr. Meehan. That they, be able to tie into water and sewer based on that the detailed designs and actual installation meets our requirements. Makes sense?
For
Do
5
you
lots,
happen,
right?
do you happen to know what number Vendetti's house is? So the proposed road between this house and this house?
Well,
Number
the house,
It's
well,
between the first 2 houses.
So
Yeah,
One
I
is
was
the
gonna
corner
say-
house, and then
Yeah.
it's the
Right.
driveway, and then
But
it's.
you gotta be a little
Vendetti's.
more specific, like
Well,
lot
the
number.
proposed road.
Yeah.
I think the house in back of my folks' house there was number 2, and Vendetti's was number 4.
All right, so the property,
I-
the proposed road between number 2 and
I
number 4
think-
JV Ave.
Yeah, all right, add that to the proposal, please, Mr. Meehan.
now there's only one right of way in there?
All right,
Yes.
now look at it.
This just shows two.
Well, it doesn't just show them when I see these boundary marks here, someone has a 16,000 square foot lot.
That's be Dr. Slick's house?
No,
he's
you
not.
see,
No, it looks
you
like
see
that.
this?
This shows,
Okay, this shows 2, this is one of those.
You're looking at the easement over here on lot number 5?
No, there's a,
As soon as you go down, Shep, what's this? 42 feet and 50 feet.
there was, a parcel there that my dad did not do any recent paperwork on.
So goes this one,
Yeah, that's
Shepherd coming up, right? So it's over here, this is where it is, right?
Here's JB Ave right here.
This is
Right, so
masonry,
that-
this is masonry.
So this is where it is.
Yeah, but what's
No,
this?
No, this
What's
here's
this?
that's gonna be the, the road here. This here was added
Oh.
on,
Oh,
Oh, I see what it is.
added
Yeah,
on to my
yeah.
folks' lot here.
Yep.
okay.
And then
Oh.
they so-called
They moved it.
gave this portion to the people that had lived over there, but I don't know if there was ever any legal
Oh, all right, yeah.
paper
They just
trail.
said, yeah.
So this is the actual road.
This is it.
This is the actual right of way.
Right
A
So
here.
that's not a, that's what I'm getting at, in and out,
a hand,
you know?
a handshake over the
Yeah,
back
I know.
fence.
Okay, all right. That's cleared up then.
I love those.
Yeah, and that puts, that splits the parcel.
Right.
Houses on both sides.
What are you talking about, the driveway that went, where monopolies would use? Is it that driveway just keeps going?
Yes.
All right, I know.
See, I thought Vendetti owned that, I used to plow over it. So, because he used to complain about that. Now I find he didn't own it.
Trespassing.
Yeah,
Okay, so does our motion,
Yeah.
is it in place?
Yep, I'll second.
A second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. To give John Krasinski permission to tie into town water and sewer. Preliminary.
Contingent on his meeting all the specs and requirements and drawings.
Yeah. You know.
Okay, so then we will probably run over to Burton's tomorrow there, and because I wanted to know if that plan of what the sewer line is going to be would have been good enough to use for,
Construction?
no, not for construction, just for, to get the okay to, as far as for an application.
Yeah, we just said that you have, we've committed to giving you that if you meet all the other requirements, like,
Okay.
that, like the drawings that you
All right,
get,
yeah.
you know, meet our specs. We'll
Yeah.
review them like we did the other people who were
Yeah.
here, that
Well-
first gentleman.
Well, yeah, but we've given, you know, you're all set with your water and sewer, so you can continue on.
Come on down to the office tomorrow. Lori will write up a thing on the water
We'll write up a
department,
letter.
sewer department letterhead, saying that we gave you on this date permits for 5 houses on this address and sewer.
Good for you.
Good for 1 year.
Yep.
That's great.
Then you'll be all set.
And
This
like,
way,
Yeah.
you got proof you've been here.
Yeah.
just like the other two, it's gonna need annual updates. So we're not, we don't have permits sitting out there forever.
It's a 30,
Alright.
40-year-old
That's
project.
fine, that's great.
All right?
Yeah.
You all set?
Yeah.
So, do that, John.
Yeah.
You can call the office,
You wanna take this paper?
and we'll get you a letter on our letterhead that permission was granted for 5 jobs.
That was one of the
The house ones.
upgrades, wasn't it?
I gotta believe that line out in the road's deep enough and big
Oh,
enough.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
10 years,
That's-
15 years old.
That's all, that's less than 20 years old, that line.
Yeah.
Pat Shadrack's Mason Road.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, have a good day.
Item number 6, I don't see anyone here from the sprinkler company, so.
Okay, I said I would talk on their behalf if
Oh.
they show up. This is at 163 West Main Street. It used to be the hot tub place. It is now being sold to
Life skills.
Life Skills, and they're gonna need a sprinkler system in there. And the water department has never denied anybody from using a sprinkler system. They don't know what size main they're gonna need yet because we're doing a fire flow on Friday. So I just wanna get this guy so he doesn't have to come back next month, because they have to be out of there by the end of May. So I don't know how they're gonna do it, but.
Where are they now?
They're gonna have to tap the main, probably a 2 or 4 inch service.
What's the name of the company? I'm sorry?
Life skills.
Life Skills.
They're in that back building on the mill, going up towards where Bosie is.
And they will pay whatever size main they are going to tap the main with, they will pay for the fee to tap the main. But I just want to get permission
People
from
in
them.
that long building and do it up? Along the road? All right, yeah, I'll make,
Part of it up here.
I'll make a motion that we give them permission to put in a sprinkler system at 163 West Main Street per John's instruction and inspection.
Second.
The second, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
I'm sure they'll be contacting you tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we'll be there Friday for
Those have to be out by
that's
May.
where they're gonna, huh?
They have to be out by May. They're
Yeah,
gonna-
that's why I said you gotta get on the agenda.
They'll be here every day.
Yeah.
All right, John, you're up.
All right, we're on the water department side. The new truck came in and we are now using it on the water department. DEP finished the sanitary survey. They found 11 things that I have to do. One of the biggest ones is the standpipe on 31. We have to clean the inside of it, scrape it, clean it, and all that, peel it. Wait a minute. Inside the standpipe, we have to clean inside.
How many years ago did we have the scuba diver in there? We cleaned them.
You have vacuum. They want the scales off the ladder, stuff off the pipes. They want to drain the tank and clean
I
the
was
pipe.
gonna say, they want the tank drained.
Drained. They want to drain. We have to take it off the line.
How do you take that
How are we
offline?
gonna do that?
We're gonna have to pressure reduce a valve on a hydrant up there, so when it hits a certain amount of pressure, it relieves it. Well, yeah, it's a big job. So,
Who did this? The state?
yeah, the state comes down every 3 years and goes right through everything, from the office to
And
the
it
last.
hasn't changed in 3 years. Have they made us do it before?
Well, we had the tank clean, we had the floor clean, but when they looked at the book and they saw scales on the pipe, drain pipe, overflow pipe, they wanted it all scraped off and cleaned, and this tank was put in '97. So what I gotta do is get a price on that, and then gonna have to put it into a town meeting for an article and get the money for that.
And it can't be done with the water in the tank? There's no solution?
Oh,
That's the-
Because you'll lose it all.
Oh, it's
It'll
up
go
to
down
the
the
losers.
It'll go down the line and hit everybody's house.
All the water will be all dirty.
Yep. You'd never clean it, you know?
So,
Involve the
yeah,
command wall.
that's the biggest one, and like I said, by the time, now the other thing is I gotta look at is when can they do it? When the college is out and when the school's out, and the only time that is during winter. And when they can't go in there and clean the tank in the winter, the water, because I gotta do it when all the schools are out.
How many days would it take you to fill that tank without overdrawing or anything pumpage wise?
Oh, I would say at least 3, maybe 4 days. Then you're gonna have to get a water sample, then you have to send a water sample out to make sure it passes before I can...
Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, go ahead.
Didn't you just refill that? Because you had a problem?
Yeah,
And it was like a little over 2 days, right?
yeah.
It wasn't drained.
Yeah, but we had 15 feet of water in there. It was 10 feet, 15 feet. But the whole thing is they're gonna have to go in there, we're gonna have to wash the tank down, clean it all up, then fill it all up, then we're gonna have to get a water sample, bring it to a lab, test it, make sure it's clean, and then we can open it back up.
There's no one we can talk to at the state, because right now, if you take water out of there, it meets state requirements, right?
Excuse me?
If you take a sample of water out of there right now, it would meet state requirements?
Yes.
Okay, so is there anyone we can call, the state or representatives, and say, listen, I know what they want, all right, but right now the water passes out of that tank, and the impact of this is X,
Well,
Y, and Z. Are you guys out of your
The
mind?
whole thing is, this is so it doesn't happen to prevent dirty the water. The water get dirty because of this.
So do you test the water level?
Yes, we do, but they're trying to
They,
be
they
proactive.
want, they want preventative maintenance done ahead of time.
There's no solution that goes in and just covers that with a new...
Well, I'll get the company down here, see what he says, what we can do, and I say, get a price for it, and then find out, as long as DEP sees that we're doing something, they're off my back.
Yeah, because if you put something in there and loosened everything up, it'd be in everybody's water.
No, but maybe there's something you can put over it.
And I can't, it's an overflow pipe, and it's the pipe coming in, bringing the water in. So you can't screen over.
What's the surface, inside surface there? Shotcrete, concrete?
Yeah, it's all concrete.
So it's stuff is adhered to it.
Yep. And they want to do also another thing, the
There's
electric.
no liner in there, right?
There's no liner, no. So they're gonna go in there and spray the walls down, get all the, yes, it's a big job.
That's a big job.
It's
Get
a
all the
big
slime
job.
off?
That's a couple of weeks.
I guess
don't know.
on that pipe, there's no like, and I'm ignorant, I can't even visualize it, but all I see is a pipe. It's something that they can, like they come in and put over your bathroom, the guy with the lasers.
No.
Put it over the pipe, whoop, so now the water's coming up along the new thing.
This is
And then-
tough.
and then- I'm just saying, you gotta clean this thing, you pull it off,
They
and put
can't do
another one on
bath-
5
they
years
can't do
from now.
bath-
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Now,
Well,
it's
you
all-
could pop the top
Well,
off.
you,
Yeah, put a new one on.
ask Webster what they're doing at their tank up on Tower Street. There's been a crane up there for,
Yeah, yeah.
what are they doing at that
I don't
tank up there?
know.
They doing the same thing?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Check
it out.
one of the guys down at Webster what they're doing.
But okay,
There's been a crane up there.
so in any case,
Yeah.
On Tower Street at that time.
We'll check it out, I got nothing.
And I think they went through a huge process there several years ago when that tank was offline.
They had a big
Yeah.
problem up there.
Yeah.
So
All right,
we'll see.
so that's
The
where,
water went down twice.
like I said, I gotta get the company in there, and there's some cracks on the roof they were worried about, but it doesn't go all the way through, they want it filled in, so there's a bunch of stuff. They even wanna wash the outside tank, and I don't agree with that at all, it doesn't need to be washed.
Mother Nature washes.
Yeah, well, okay, but at least, as long as I'm doing something, they're off my back. All right, we finished flushing hydrants, we are flushing hydrants right now, and within 2 weeks, we're gonna start meter reading again. We have a new man on the water department now, his name is Luke, he came from the highway department. Brian now has Tim's position. Tim is now on the sewer department working with Mike, so all the departments have manpower. So where everything's back, it's just training and all that stuff.
George is still George.
Yeah. On the sewer department, the new truck is in, it's at a place where they're putting the crane on, then they gotta go back to MAQ and have the lights put on. So within a month, we should have that new truck, the crane. We got an extension from DEP for the I&I study. Time bond started on March 19th with these meters that they put into these manholes. There's 8 meters in town. There's 2 on West Main Street, 1 on Mason Road, Progress Ave, Chase Ave. They're all over town. And they're coming down once a week and they're reading the meters. And this is working out great because they figure it's going to take 10 weeks, but with all the storms we're having, they're getting some real good data. So it may not be 10 weeks. So it may shorten that up. So, and like I said, they're going to give us tell us where our problems are and what the cost will be to fix it. They think it's gonna cost. And they're gonna send it to DEP. It has to be to DEP in June, what they find. DEP has to look at it and approve it. At least we know where we are and have a good idea where our bad sections are.
If it doesn't go 10 weeks, are we saving money?
Yes, yeah. The budget's in your packet that we passed in. The sewer department is $60,000 less than it was last year, is because phase 1 is paid off. So now $60,000 is going into retained earnings.
Remember that we made a commitment to those people once that these were paid off, the rates would come down.
Well, we might have to need this money for the I&I study. And in 2020, phase 2 is paid off, and that's another 60 grand you're gonna have.
Yeah. But you understand my point, though?
Yep.
The whole selling point was after that's paid off, instead of you being the third highest sewer rate in the state, it will come down because now you're more.
Well, if the I&I study goes the way we hope, we start fixing that, it's gonna be less sewer going over there, so West is gonna start charging us less because less is going over.
So it's,
We hope.
that makes sense, yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Sounds good.
Okay, and the article of this town meeting coming up, the sewer department has given back $12,000 from the sewer department article from Lakeview Ave, Lawrence, and Lions Road pump stations. So we didn't spend all the money, everything's done right, but $12,000 is going back into retained earnings.
So
Water-
we have to do an article? Oh, to put back
It was an
in.
article to take the money out of that account
Yeah.
and put it into,
Retained
back
earnings,
into retained
okay.
earnings. And on the water department side, we're putting $1,500 back from the water main project on Mill Road. So if you see it at the town
So
meeting.
there'll be a couple of town meeting articles where we'll put money back.
Yes, so, and,
Yeah, instead of just letting that money sit there.
All is good.
yep, so that's
Put
all.
money back in the accounts, we're not
Well,
asking you to take it.
I bet you right now that Route 31 job's a buck 40, 140,000 to do that.
Oh, gee, that's,
For what?
That's a lot of money.
Do that tank, clean that tank?
that's,
Oh, yeah.
Big bucks.
That's gonna be 100 grand, 100 plus.
yeah, that's gonna.
And what about Bates after that?
You know,
They're not coming back for another 3 years.
but next time we do a capital project where it has something to do with the tank, and we have the funds, we may want to consider putting like auxiliary tanks there. Like if you had a smaller one, you could fill it up, keep people going for a day, while you empty this one and, do whatever you got to do to it.
Is there any way we could do something? Is there anything on the market like that?
Well, when I get to talk to these guys that do these tanks, I'll find out what other towns have done.
Yeah.
And they'll have an idea of what.
They have
Well,
those big
you know, maybe
trailers,
you
the
can
water
get the
trailers,
tank.
tank trailers.
Yeah,
that they
18
can-
to come up and,
Right, they
you
just
know,
like
you
milk
can fill
trucks.
the tank
No,
up.
they don't.
You know what I mean, rain
They're
for rent?
Big square tanks.
You ever see those?
They've got funky
When they
wheels.
pump
funky
your
on them,
groundwater,
the way they are.
the dirty water will come
Square
out,
wheels?
they'll have the rain for rent truck
Square
there.
wheels?
No,
And they'll
they're
clean
just
all
the
the
way
water,
they-
maybe you
the way
can
they,
get something like
They
that,
just-
Like I said, we'll find out.
We're gonna be clean and sanitized.
Yeah,
Like
but the whole thing is,
Milk trucks that.
well, I'll find out what's going on. And because these guys do it all the
just
time.
pump through it.
Well,
So at least I'll get some
I
idea
think
what
like
I'm
you
doing.
said, you can get a tank up there.
Yeah, like I said, we're gonna have to do something, you
Right,
know,
because it's
so.
like doing a sewer bypass, there's gotta be a way around it.
Then the other thing is, like I said, you put a pressure reducer valve on the hydrant. When it hits a certain amount of pressure, it opens up, but someone's gonna be at the booster station to shut it down, so you don't waste the water,
Yeah.
all right?
Right.
And then as the water's starting to drain out, you gotta turn it back on because it'd be.
And you can't run on constant
wasting
pump pressure
manpower, too.
You know,
without storage capacity.
Right.
somebody like Worcester may own their own backup tanker truck like that we maybe rent from them.
Well, I'll find out when these
But you
when
don't-
these
yeah.
tank guys come in, they do it all the time, so I'll find
Yeah.
out from them, how do you do it,
Yeah.
you know? So, that's all I have.
Anything else for the board?
Can't have that cameras.
I was gonna bring it up at this meeting, but we're not too bad. This is food for thought. 'Cause I was talking to one of my, Mr. Bass, and we're giving these permits out, right?
Right?
And we're not getting any money for it. And they got permits for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And on our permit fee, they have to pay $350 per permit,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And right now, we're not getting any money.
Sure.
I'm just wondering if the board, something to think about next meeting, general allowance surcharge for every permit we give out, it's cost $350 upfront now.
Yeah, half
Get
an
your
hour.
fee, all right, and then next year they come, if they don't use it, $350. We'll find out how serious they are about keeping these permits.
That's a great idea.
Get all the facts.
That's some sort of a fee.
Pay
to
from
it.
up front. It's like buying a hunting license.
Yeah.
You can buy your hunting license and then you decide not to go, you're still paid for the license.
Right, at least the people that aren't serious are not gonna come back. And we'll find out who's serious about who wants water, who doesn't. And then
And
we
it's
can
revenue for
take care of the
us up
serious
front.
people who want it.
Good idea.
I make a motion that we
Oh, the meeting's not over yet.
charge
Yeah.
when people come in for permits, that instead of just giving it to them for a year, that we charge either 100% or some percentage of that fee upfront. And then if they use it, fine. If they don't, they lose it.
I think you should pay 100% up front, because if somebody buys 10 of them,
All right.
and pays half and
Well,
decides,
amend
hey, I
my
don't
thing
want
to say
it,
100%
you're losing
upfront.
money.
Yeah, we can't have someone hogging a product.
Yeah.
Correct.
Preventing somebody else from
Preventing
doing
someone
it.
else.
Yeah.
So as of right now, on our permit fees,
We may
$350.
As of tomorrow.
$350.
Yes, not as of tomorrow or tonight, because that's why I wanted to bring it up after all these people went through it.
As of
Yeah.
tomorrow.
But then,
Yeah,
if
you don't
if it
want
has
to
to
do
be
it for the
renewed,
people
maybe
we
there's
got here
a,
tonight.
Right.
maybe
Right,
the renewal
right.
cost.
So is anyone gonna second?
I don't know.
Is anybody gonna second?
Second.
I will, let's,
Well,
I'd rather consider it.
next month.
We can talk about it next month.
Put it all
Just
on
think
paper.
about
All right.
Put it all on paper, we'll
right.
have it on our next agenda, and then we can vote.
The only
Instead of
question
just-
is, what if somebody comes for the next meeting? Are we gonna take them first, or, you know?
You're
do
gonna have
they-
to put it on the agenda.
So we're better off doing it tonight.
Well, we haven't had time, I haven't even had time, I'm not willing to vote on something I haven't had a chance to even think
Didn't,
about.
no, who had time to think about anything we heard tonight?
Yeah, but all we're talking about is, we're talking about bringing in some revenue that we can use.
Yeah,
And when-
yeah.
if they're gonna hold up our permit, at least we're holding up their money.
Yeah, and we can't spend that revenue, it just
It's-
comes in
it's-
like a retainer.
We can't make a vote on that now, because it's not on our agenda for the evening,
It's
actually.
another
It's another
business.
Yeah.
Also another business.
Other business.
Yeah.
I'd rather wait until next month.
I'd rather wait till next month also, have all the facts in front of us.
All right, Tom, you're asking if somebody comes in for water next time? And that's another thing I want to talk to you, Joe.
But there's only one problem, the motion was made and it was seconded by Mr. Bazinet.
Correct.
We have to at least either say we're not
Rescind
gonna,
the motion.
who has to do that, me?
Yeah.
All right, I'll rescind the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I just don't want you to get in trouble.
I
Vote
say
is ghostkeeping.
rescind the motion so it can be on the agenda, and you can have all your facts and figures
Right,
to
okay,
present.
All right.
let's do it this way, it's on the agenda
Number one.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the next
Yes,
meeting.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Okay,
Right.
and also, I met with Greg, the town administrator,
Bradley Conis.
and he's going to he's been trying to get a hold of George Peterson to find out what's going on with the mill. Because I sat down with Greg and says, we have people coming in that are going to want the water that we want to sell, because we're going to sell water.
We're in water business. we're
And
not-
it's been 11 years now that the Stevens Linen Mill has asked for water, and they haven't used a drop. So we're in the business to sell, we're selling water for money. And I told them that if they don't start doing something, there may not be any water there for that mill, what they want to put in.
Right.
So I am going to recommend to this board, you guys can decide all you want, that we wait for the Jesse Road project, the Airport Road project, and Mr. Kaczynski do their tying in, use the water, and only give out single-family houses from now until we see how much water they use, okay, and see what goes on with the mill before we get in trouble.
So make that number 2 on the agenda.
No, I agree with you
So
100%.
you're actually holding water back in case the mill needs it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're talking between 20
Is that
and...
fair?
But did you promise those people water?
Who?
The mill?
Yeah.
But
20.
we were also promised a contribution to our system also.
Yeah.
For,
And you also...
So they didn't give you what they promised you? So
Right.
then I
We
would say
prom-
there was no agreement.
Okay.
We promised for a year, and that year is up, right?
Right.
So we are in the know.
Yeah, but the whole thing is,
Yeah.
I mean, we will get shot if something goes into that mill and they don't have water because we turned around and passed it all out. That's why I
still
went-
need to-
That's why I went to see the town administrator, so he'll get a hold of George Peterson, who owns that mill, and let him know where we are. And if he doesn't get moving on that, that we're selling out, his water rights may be gone. That we
I think
know-
they're gone now.
They are.
If somebody else comes,
They are
if
literally-
somebody else comes tomorrow and wants to do the old Ethan Allen, they're gonna get it before the mill, if they're willing to start building now.
Well, that's up to the board. That's up
In
to
my
you
eye,
guys.
I mean,
I
it's-
agree with
they're-
that. No, I agree, first come, first served.
Exactly.
The guy's been gone for 10 years, he didn't keep his end of the agreement up, so.
Well, there were many years he didn't come back on a yearly basis anyhow.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't feel you owe the guy anything.
Exactly.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, well, so Greg's supposed to get a hold of him, and we're supposed to find out what's his game plan.
We can't
Needs to
keep,
come to the meeting.
Because I would have issues, he
I
comes
think-
back to the next meeting and say, yes, I still want to develop it, and I need permission for another year.
All right, but now, if he's
Right, but
gonna,
he'll
whoa,
have to
whoa,
pay.
whoa, whoa, wait a minute. Now, he's planning on putting in, say, 100 units, so that's all 100 permits. So he's gonna have to come up with $350 per unit.
Right,
That's why you want to get that.
That's why we wanna get that
That's why you
in.
want to get that in.
right.
So that's the first thing on the agenda for next month.
Okay?
but the only thing, we can't just say all of a sudden, we've got to give the guy,
Give him 10
Fair-
years.
fair
Yeah,
notice.
10 years, like you.
no, but we've got to let him know that, hey, it's time to either
The
do
economy-
your business or get off the pot.
The economy
because-
picked up in
10 years, 3 presidents, we didn't give you a
Yeah,
shot.
I mean, you know, what are you saying?
Because, you know, we're in business.
Yep.
12 years.
That's
or
fine.
whatever.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Is anything from our highly efficient clerk?
No, I'm good.
Administrative assistant, I'm sorry.
Just compliments.
I'm good, thank you.
You weren't in here when the compliments were flying.
No, I must have been off.
Mr. Ruda, yeah, when you came in with that, that's why Mr. Ruda was commenting about how he got a phone call today reminding him about the meeting. He says, that never happens. You know,
Well, it's nice
So,
to meet
just
Good job, we appreciate it.
keep up the good work.
Less we have to worry about.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
I,
Very good.
we're out.